First things when making oil pastels is your mould. Common aluminium foil, kitchen aluminium foil, fold it in half. You can fold it in half again if you want to, and tear it down the middle. Now this will give you two moulds. Not very big ones, you can most probably figure out ways of doing it yourself. You can make moulds out of anything really. You want it reasonably thick. If it's too thin it just breaks on you. Oil pastel, one of the commercial ones, that's a Sonelia. That's felt pens. They're nice, quite good. And we will use a felt pen. The way you do it, and it's fairly important you do it, something along this lines. Put that in the middle there. Fold that triangle up there. Bring that one up and around, and just keep doing it around the pen like that. The significance of this is that you need to have a very strong or very solid sealed bottom and sides. Now take that off. That gives you quite a nice mould for a poster. We'll use a slightly different one for a pastel, oil pastel. Use a slightly different one here. Again, we'll just bring it up there. Bring that up there. Looks a mess, doesn't it? And wrap it round. Now, if you just do what I did the first time and merrily just wrapped it round, you'll find you'll end up with leaks and have hot wax going in all directions. So there we are, we've got two moulds. These are some of the pastels I've made. I started making pastels because I couldn't get the greens, Australian greens. Australian greens have quite musty and dusty colours. So I made some up myself. There's a green, that's a bit dirty, it's got a bit of dirt on the end of it. And here's a transparent green. This is a Sonelia, commercially made pastel. And this little bugger, it's the first one I ever made. And I didn't make these properly, and I had coloured wax all over the kitchen bench. But that's a couple of months old, it's still nice and soft and everything. And you can see that these all blend together quite nicely. So, actually your finger is possibly the most useful tool you've got with oil pastels. Okay, now, magically, the scissors have turned up. And we just do the tops nicely. Just cut the tops off nice and square. If you need to remould them, just insert it and wrap around there. Also magically what has turned up is some rather solid clay. Now you don't need clay, you can use kids' Play-Doh, plasticine. All you need is something to sit in the bottom of the container to hold those moulds upright. That should do it. So we'll get this one, we'll stick that back in there, hopefully it was the right size, yes, and we'll plug it in there. Pull it out in your moulds there. Stick that in this one. Make sure you don't put a hole in the bottom of that. Plug it in there. And there you are, you have your moulds, have everything ready to go as far as moulds concerned. Okay, all we use is standard oil paints. This is a particularly nice one. It's M. Graham & Co. Now they use walnut oil rather than linseed oil, and I found that is a little bit better for making the oil pastels. This is Art Spectrum titanium white. I use a lot of Art Spectrum material. They're quite good. Schmicky. Ah, here we are. Well, you can. I'm no good on this pronunciation. Palette knife. These are dregs from my palette. They don't. Whatever you do, don't mix any mediums with this paint. I'm going to mix up the colour I want. It'll make a wonderful blend when it gets in the process. It blends beautifully. Okay, we've mixed up the colour we want. Now, one moment. Paper towel. You can use newspaper, but I prefer paper towel. And you can usually tear it off a lot neater than that. Scrape this paint off and put it on the paper towel. You'll lose a little bit of paint in this process, but the thing what you're doing is the paper towel will take some of the linseed oil that is in the paint and take it off. What you will next need is some mineral oils. Now, mineral oils, I use liquid paraffin. You can get it from the chemist. You will also need some bleached beeswax. You can use ordinary beeswax, but a certain yellowness will come through into your colour. So this is bleached beeswax, which you can get from the art supply store. And a tin. Musty green peas. Just a tin. Put a little bit of funnel. It makes it easier to pour at a later stage. Okay, we have 2 measurements of beeswax. Make sure your tin is dry before you do this. We have two measurements of liquid mineral oil, or in my case liquid paraffin. And although we possibly should have left this a little bit longer, scrape as much of that paint off as you can into the mixture. Just mix it up. Okay, this is fry pan, about half full of water, and you put the paint in like that. But we better light the gas. Now, I'm using a gas stove. It's not recommended. You are dealing with inflammable material here. It's far better if you have a electronic way of heating it. So be careful. Righto. You don't want it too boiling. When you do this, it's just a matter of stirring it around. If you can, I don't know if you can see it in here, but it looks all bitsy and it doesn't look very smooth at all. It looks like there's little grains of rice in there. That'll go away. Just keep it moving. You can see how that all those colours are nicely blended. Now that this is starting to become quite a smooth liquid. There you go. This is just a smooth, no bumps, no nothing. It's a smooth liquid. You may need gloves for this. Just fill the moulds up. Now hopefully you'll have a little bit left over. Turn the stove off and just keep it there to keep it moist. Okay, put it in the fridge. Just sit it in the fridge. Okay, here we go, straight out of the freezer. They're reasonably solid and they will get out. They will become more solid as you go along. However, you'll notice the top of these have a little hole in them. And that's why you need a little bit more just to fill those holes in. And there you are, folks, your own oil pastels. Once they are dry, you want to use them, just peel a little bit of the aluminium foil away and away you go. Points are, try and use electricity instead of gas for safety's sake. The measurements are 2 parts wax, 2 parts liquid mineral oil or liquid paraffin, and about 1 part paint. Hope this was useful. Bye.